But back to Afghanistan for a moment. So this Zero Hedge article, again on the 4th of August, less than a year after Judicial Watch reported that the Taliban has established fake nonprofits to steal, speaking of vetting and verify, hey, government, why don't you do some of that? Nonprofits to steal millions of dollars in U.S. aid to Afghanistan. We stop there. We pulled out of Afghanistan. We left all of our equipment. We left people to die there. So and we're still giving them money? Are you really going to be able to explain that one to me? So a new investigation reveals that the terrorist group has also received hundreds of millions in development assistance from Uncle Sam because the State Department fails to properly vet award recipients. At least 329 million have likely filled the coffers of the extremists running the Islamic Republic since 2021 U.S. military withdrawal. Again, parade because 3 years later they're celebrating with all of our stuff and their newfound money. According to a report published by the Special Inspector General for the Afghanistan Reconstruction. We actually have a Special Inspector General for Afghanistan Reconstruction. You know, your Social Security and Medicaid and Medicare are broke. You know, they're going to cut your Social Security. I don't think anybody left doesn't think that's the case in the future. But just remember that we have a SIGAR. That's actually the acronym in this report, SIGAR. So the money was dispersed by the State Department divisions. Let me fast forward. Investigators found that the State Department failed to comply with its own counterterrorism partner vetting requirements in Afghanistan. Let me get to the very end. Besides establishing fraudulent non-governmental organizations, those are the NGOs. If NGO sounds familiar to you, we've covered it fairly extensively over the last few years on our show, 2.5 years worth now. NGOs are how, people say, well, our government is not giving money to people, newcomers. You can't say illegal aliens anymore because now they're all gearing up to vote and be one of us. They're integrated. But anyway, so NGOs. So our government can give money to an NGO or to a church, and then in turn the church can give money to the newcomers. So that's why that word looks familiar to you. So to loot big chunks of $3 billion, we're just talking millions, now we're into the billions, in humanitarian aid that the U.S. has given Afghanistan since the Biden administration's abrupt military withdrawal. So you're telling me $1 billion a year since we withdrew, $3 billion has been given to Afghanistan. All right. I thought it was all Ukraine. I'm glad to know my tax dollars are going to more than one country because that's diversification. And we believe in that as financial people. That money has flowed a little bit more, Anthony. I know you hate being read to, but this is so fun to me. That money has flowed through the U.S. Agency for International Development, the USAID, a famously corrupt State Department arm that got $63.1 billion for foreign assistance and diplomatic engagement this year. And the U.S. Agency for Global Media, the old USAGM, the government's international broadcasting services. Sam, can we get picked up in Afghanistan? Can we start doing a show in Afghanistan? We'll just repeat the shows from here because we talk about them enough, so they'll feel recognized. The international broadcasting services that aims to inform, engage, and connect people around the world in support of freedom and democracy. Anybody? Sam? Anthony? Any of you want to walk me off the ledge? All this money is going to support freedom and democracy. Do you think, why don't you look at Venezuela? Let's go all around the world. I did hear that there's a lot of weirdness going on in England. I heard a man who's like 61 years old. I just heard this yesterday. 61-year-old man just got put in prison for 18 months because he made a couple I don't know what, Facebook, Twitter, who knows what platform posts. This is just yesterday. I mean, the entire world is insane. And I don't